Welcome back to the 2023 Tire Rack of One Lap of America presented by Grassroots Motorsport Magazine. I do know the event's name. I know my name. It's Solomon Rosenthal. That's Brian Humphreys. And down here, we have a couple of new participants. So please, why don't you introduce yourselves?
So I'm Ray Brake, live in Middle Georgia, and been looking forward to doing this one for a long time.
Okay. And
I'm Chris Brake, currently in Homosassa, Florida, better known from being in the Lafayette, Indiana area.
okay. Is that like an America's Most Wanted thing, or what are you really well known for?
So I spent a lot of years as RE and on the board of the local SCCA region there, and actually helped run the autocross for one lap many times, and just kind of getting established down here. So
I'm sorry you've had to deal with us before, but we're excited to have you here as a participant this year. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about what got you guys involved? Obviously, some familiarity with the event, having seen a lot of us go through, but what was the driving factor for this year?
So I've wanted to do this for a long, long time. I never felt like I had the time to do it. So this year I've worked in the time and made it work. And I've watched, I've watched this, and Andy Hollis is legendary with this thing, and I followed him with it. And then, I think it was 2 years ago, his wife didn't go with him, and Grassroots went with him, and they did the whole story with that, and I followed that. And then I'm pretty good friends with Danny Kao, and he did it last year, and that was the hook. I actually saw Danny at VIR a few weeks ago, and I told him, "This is your fault." So.
Nice. No, I think I see the car behind you, what you guys are bringing. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about what you're running and why you've chosen that platform?
So it's a 2016 Camaro Chevy, a 2SS. It has virtually no mods on it. There's a sway bar, a different sway bar on the front, cold air intake, but it hasn't been tuned for it. It's just on there. Other than that, and then I run the 1LE wheels on it so that they're wider than the regular wheels that come on the 2SS. The platform was, let's say, thrust upon me. So I had an FRS in solo spec coupe for SCCA, and I ran that for a year, and then I was going to run it for a second year, and I went up to Indiana to Chris's region for their annual banquet and hung out with them for the weekend. And the guy that owned the car before he had a Corvette ordered, and he was looking to sell, and I was going to upgrade the car to something with more horsepower the next year. And he said, well, when my Corvette comes in, you should buy my Camaro. Well, by the time the airplane landed back in Atlanta, I had decided to buy the Camaro. So I don't know what the heck I was thinking, quite frankly, but and then and then he called me and he said, my car's not in at the dealer, but the dealer says they have one for me. So he said, you can have it now. And I thought, well, okay, and then the Corvette that they had really wasn't his. And I said, well, do you want to keep it for the year? And he said, no, you go ahead and come and get it. So we drove up to Indiana and picked up the Camaro and brought it back. I told the FRS and dropped it off to somebody that bought it on the way up there, and picked up the Camaro and brought it back. And I absolutely love this car. I've had so much fun with it. Not just autocrossing it, but tracking it. We've been, obviously you can see it. It's at Sebring there. Sebring, Daytona, Barber, AMP, Atlanta Motorsport, or Road Atlanta, VIR. I love this thing. So this was my chance to go and do this. I'm probably gonna retire in like a year or so. So financially, in a year or two, the budget probably won't stretch to one lap like it does this year.
Sure. Excellent. And what about your son? We haven't heard much from you. So how did you get conned into this deal?
Well, I mean, what could go wrong, really? It's something that I've toyed around with doing over the years. Actually talked to one of my friends back in Indiana few years ago, we were thinking about prepping my 944 to run, and never got that finished off. And and then this year, when Ray asked me, it's like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's do this. And so works out good. He's a lot more of a track driver. I'm a lot more of an autocross driver. So we can split and divide and conquer.
Nice. Very cool. So that, I mean, that's usually why we all wind up here. Sure, why not? That's how we all arrive here. The one question that I'm sure everybody's going to be asking, Ray, your name, is that like a stage name, or what's the history behind that? Because you sort of have the perfect name for at least braking zones on a track.
Yeah, no, that's just the name. That's my real name. It's
Okay.
my father gave it to me, and there I am. So, and I
Name
gave it
like
to
Jasmine, and then you just like go out as Ray Brake, right?
I just go out as Ray Brake. Yeah. The other motivation for doing one lap is because I have no way to light money on fire.
Ah,
So yeah,
this is just slightly cheaper than a drug habit. It's true.
yeah, just slightly cheaper. I am keeping track of the budget because everybody talks about one lap and stuff, but they never talk about how much it costs. So I'm keeping track of it. Not that I begrudge a single dollar of it, but I really just want to know at the end of the day how much it is. So
realistically, I mean, you could, we've been asked that question many times over the years, and you could do it for as minimally now. I'd say between inflation, you're looking around 11 grand. You could do it as minimal as that, or sky's the limit. But yeah, I'd say the average is probably around 15 to 16K for everybody.
Yeah,
between testing. Cool. So tell us a little bit. You told us a little bit about your background, but what tracks are you most looking forward to this year?
so the tracks that I've never run at would be, because I'm one of these guys that puts the little track maps on the back of his car because I like to show off, and I like people to come up to me in the parking lot and say, "What are all those squiggly lines on the back of your car?" So, and then I get to go off and explain what I do. So, so all the tracks that I haven't been to. So I've been to Atlanta Motor Speedway, or I mean to Road Atlanta. So that one will be nice because I'll be familiar with it. I've never been to Hallett. I've never been to Texas. I've never been to Ohio, Nelson Ledges. But of course, I've been to NCM, so I've been there. So there's 4 new tracks that I've never been to. So I'm looking forward to those a lot. And I feel like because I've been to some of the other tracks, that'll help me stay competitive, if you will. I have no delusions. I'm not going out there and win this thing my first time. I mean, this event is super difficult, and I certainly don't expect to be top of the field, but I would like to do well and do the best that I can. So I think those things will go along, and Chris, being a much better autocrosser than I am, can do that, the skid pad and the autocross stuff, and I think, and between us, the commute drives are just, we jump in the car and drive 10 hours without even thinking about it. So we should be off to the races on this one.
Bryan, when did we start recruiting rational people? That's what my biggest question is, because everybody we've spoken with lately has good rationale. Like, oh, I'm not expecting to win at all. I mean, I want people to come in here with a Miata and be like, oh, I'm taking the whole thing. Bryan, what do you have?
Well, for Chris, since you've been working with Indy SCCA in the past, do you already know the layout for the autocross at Grissom?
I don't know the exact one, but I'm assuming Raleigh Breen's going to be making the course. So I could probably get through it within 3 runs with a blindfold on.
Raleigh's not going to be there.
Raleigh's not going to be there.
No, I talked to Raleigh this week. They're going. There's a cam challenge in St. Louis the same weekend, so that they won't be there.
Gotcha. So hopefully it's somebody that has gone to my school of how to build a course at Grissom and does a little bit outside of the box, but
we give you an extra one with a blindfold on. Are you willing to try it if it is set up in a way?
I'd be willing to try it.
Okay.
Wait, that's my car.
I didn't run that car at Grissom. It's all fine.
Just get some others, race rubber remover. Sure, it'll come right off.
Yeah, it'll buff out. And I'm sure if it doesn't, there's a Harbor Freight nearby. And we can show you what tools to get.
I don't know about that.
There's one about 20 miles away. Not that I've ever made that run before from Grissom.
You can do it blindfolded, right?
I know where they are at Sebring, but that's about it. Anything else, Brian?
So Chris, the shop that you work for, sort of a unusual name. You want to compound on that a bit?
So it kind of started when I still had my day job. That one of my coworkers suggested that name, and it's like, you know what, that kind of makes sense for the type of vehicles that I build and drive, and so it kind of just stuck. And then when I started out on my own, we just kind of stuck with it, and known for doing some rather unique builds that would run in mod classes. So
what is name of said shop? So
running with Scissors Race Shop.
Okay.
So and our slogan is cutting lap time. So it all kind of comes together, and so if I can just get my own cars to hold together for a full event, then we'd be in good shape. But
the optimism we love.
So this whole driving a streetcar thing is going to be a unique experience for me, and I'm used to having to bring 50 pounds of tools and duct tape and zip ties and fluids with me in the grid. So
okay, all right. So so that brings up a good point. So reliability wise, you feel as though everything's fairly sorted out, but what types of stuff are you bringing? What types of stuff are you anticipating for the event?
We're gonna have a tire trailer behind us for the 2 spares. Not too much room in a Camaro for a couple extra big wheels. And then bring just basic tools with us, enough to change brake pads if we need it, and beyond that, not really too worried about anything.
Yeah, I've got a box that I bring when I go to tracks and stuff like that, and it's got tools, compressor, just the little things that you need. And if it needs anything more than what's inside that box, I'm packing it up and going home.
We'll figure out another way, but
not on this event. But if I was like at a regular track event or something like that, and if it needed something more than what I felt I could pull off with what I had, maybe I have to borrow a tool or something. But other than that. Yeah, but this event, this is sort of press on regardless. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Sure. What tires are you guys running this year?
It'll be the Goodyear F1 Supercars 3s.
Okay.
That's with the 20-inch tires, you have very limited choices of what you can run to get 200 tread wear. Well, the Goodyears are 220, but Mox mix really. But yeah, you kind of have limited choices with the 20s. And I thought about buying another. I've had more wheels and tires than I know what to do with, obviously. I thought about going back and buying another set of 19s to run this event, but I'm just going to stick with the 20s. And I've already ordered the tires. We just got to go to Tire Rack on Thursday and get them put on. And we're gonna bring one of each spare, like Chris said, just in case we hit some crater along the way or something like that. But
yes. All right, so tell me about some of your sponsors and or charities. Apart from, we have the shop, so what else do we have?
So we have no sponsorship. The sponsorship is my back pocket.
Nice.
So, and we haven't organized the charity or anything for this year. We'll probably do something with Brock's charity that he's got with the event. So
Brock Yates Memorial Fund, a fantastic charity. It was obviously through the Alzheimer's Association, in memory of Brock Sr., who passed a few years ago from Alzheimer's and complications with it. Wonderful individual whom we owe the event to. Okay, so what are you most looking forward to about the event itself? I mean, obviously you have the difficulty of the track driving, the road transits, the uncertainty of what's going on out there, but what's the element that you're most looking forward to?
Gas station sushi.
Live dangerously.
No. Yeah, seriously. I'm looking forward to meeting the people that do this event, that have done it several times in the past, and being with those people. I mean, the SCCA is all about, having fun with cars, and, you come for the cars, you stay for the people. And I think One Lap is kind of like that too. It's a camaraderie, it's a family, it's a group. And I'm looking forward to meeting some new people that I've never met before, and some old friends that I know will be there and stuff. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. The going and meeting and doing the track stuff obviously is just going to be amazing anyway. So it's always amazing. This is the other part of this is the people and stuff. So
Absolutely. Chris, what about you?
A lot of the same. Looking forward to seeing a lot of the people that met over the years and meeting new people and actually getting to experience the whole event, not just the scramble at Grissom, get through autocross runs and then not see anybody again. And also, some of the friends back in Indiana that get to go pick up my cones for a change, that'll be kind of nice as well.
Nice. We'll definitely blindfold and hit them all and make them resell last car. Bryan, you got anything else before we start wrapping up?
A question that Solomon's asked someone else. If you could give yourself advice now for what to do during the event, what would you tell yourself now so you can look at it after the event?
Man, I suppose prepare. Make sure we're prepared. That's probably the best advice I've given myself so far. I've got this huge laundry list of things to do. As a matter of fact, I'll be changing brake pads this afternoon. So, yeah, I think that's, just be prepared for it.
Okay. Co-driver, what do you got?
A lot of the same. Be prepared and don't do anything too stupid because you got to finish the trip with the car. So,
or one that looks somewhat like it,
Yeah.
It is my daily driver, by the way. So,
Okay. Well, very good. What final question though for you guys? I assume doing in the DE world that you guys have seen the T-shirt with the instructor shouting at the student to brake numerous times. Do you own one of those shirts? And if not, why not? So it's very fitting for you guys.
I don't own one.
Okay, we know what to get you now. Perfect. Well, we look forward to seeing you out on the road and having some more fun with you throughout the week, catching up and seeing how well this interview has aged, and how well you guys have aged over the week. Because by Wednesday, you might be reciting show tunes or you might be at each other's throats. So we'll be curious to see how that works.
And there is no 12-step program for One Lap.
Big one. But thank you so much for joining us and making the time to introduce everybody to yourselves for the 2023 Tire Rack One Lap of America, presented by Grassroots Motorsport Magazine. I'm Solomon, that's Bryan, and these are the breaks. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you out there.
See you then.
Thanks a bunch.